Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming to this channel. I really do appreciate. Guess who I have today? Priya Abiram. Most of you have been seeing her on this channel. She's been coming, but guys, rare that we've had Priya in physical, in real time. So this is Priya. Priya, how are you?
Doing great. Very happy to be here. Thank you so much for coming all the way to come visit here in Long Beach at the Women in Aviation Conference. It's so amazing to see you and have you here.
Wow, thank you so much. Guys, we've never seen her in 3D. Here she is. She is going to be an astronaut. She's aspiring to be an astronaut, and she has interned for NASA, former Boeing intern as well, and she's at Cornell University, guys. She's just pursuing to complete her engineering. So before I keep talking, you remember, I always talk so much. So let's just ask her if she can brief us. Priya, before you tell us what you are here for, what are you doing right now? At what stage are you in being an astronaut?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually a freshman at Cornell University. I'm studying mechanical aerospace engineering, and I have just been through the International Institute of Astronautical Sciences and through the Project Possum program, and I've also interned at NASA. I'm currently interning for NASA Kennedy Space Center, the spacecraft production team, and previously interned at the Boeing company, and it's been a great journey of great experiences so far that I'm very lucky to have, and they're definitely pushing and challenging me to grow every day.
Wow, amazing. So what are you doing here? I know this is our Long Beach Convention Center, and what did you come to do here today?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm here at the Women in Aviation International Conference. I was here last year, and I'm here again. Every year I meet amazing women here that always inspire me. So many women that are in the aviation field, the aerospace field, and I think it's important to come to events and conferences like this to meet people from different backgrounds, especially meet such a big group of women in one place, because let's face it, engineering, aviation, these are fields where women are definitely a minority, and it's hard to be and stand up for yourself, have a really long big group of supporters by your side, and it's just very inspiring and motivating and rejuvenating to come here, see such hardworking, accomplished women. They always inspire me every time.
Wow. So this is an extension of International Women's Day. So what do you think, why is International Women's Day important in our lives?
Definitely, that's a great question. I think it is important to recognize the progress that we have done for women, and to celebrate all the women in the past that have paved the path, stood up for themselves, fought so many obstacles, so that we're able to have all these opportunities and have all these luxuries today, and to also remind ourselves that there's a long way to go, remind ourselves that there's progress to make and work to be done, and it's important that the current generation and the future generation, it is our job to keep paving the path for the future, and to look to our left and right, look at who we're supporting, the people we're impacting, and just growing together continually.
Wow, amazing. So what would you say about the social and economic political issues that women face today?
Yeah, definitely. So one, I think it is important to involve women in all fields, not just engineering or one aspect. Women should have a place and a voice in every location where the decisions are being made. And that is because if it is just men or just one group of people, then it's all going to be the same thoughts, the same thinking process, the same ideas, the same needs, desires. It's all going to be the same. We don't want the same. We want change. We want improvement. We want to make the society better. And to make it better, we need to bring in change. We need to bring in a sense of adapting. And I think by incorporating diverse communities and by bringing women in, that is exactly what we're doing. We're bringing in a completely different set of perspectives, a new set of perspectives. And when you're bringing in these perspectives, some people don't want to hear what you have to say because it's different from the status quo. It's different from what's always been done and different from everything that's always been happening. But it's important that women have a stand up, remain confident in their thoughts and perspectives, because one, they were invited to be a part of the team for a reason, and their qualifications cannot be, they cannot be disqualified just because someone else tells them that they're not qualified enough. And it's important that women stand up for themselves and their thoughts and beliefs with confidence and grace, to show and stick through and to bring change for the better.
Wow. So this means in social and economic and also political aspect. Thank you so much for that detailed information for us. We really do appreciate. So Priya, what do you think men should be part of International Women's Day?
I think they definitely should. I mean, it is a day to celebrate what the progress we have made so far, and allies to the community are always welcome. And it's important to bring people just not only within the community but also outside the community, because that's where you're spreading awareness and that's where you're spreading information and informing people of what the day-to-day mistakes and the ways we can progress. Like a lot of times, there's obviously the talk of assault and abuse and all of that's happening to different communities and populations, and especially women. But most often it's the small comments that are made in the workplace. It's the microaggressions that affect women, that are people say stuff that they don't know, they don't realize it's offensive or hurtful or derogatory towards a specific group. And in such situations, it's important that women stand up for themselves and call it out. They call it out peacefully, gracefully, and fight that and support themselves. And it's important that during such days and such moments where we stand up for ourselves, it's important to include people from these other communities so that they're aware of how women think and what we could do to accommodate people of all sorts of communities, not just women but also minorities, people of color, people from the LGBTQ community, being accepting of all backgrounds and all cultures, and placing more merit on the ideas and the ways we can progress society.
Amazing. Guys, we've been following Priya since when she was at high school, and we are watching her space. Remember, I promised that we're going to see her space and see where she goes. So Priya, I still have another question. This year's Women International Day also means digital, meaning digital for everybody, innovation and technology equality. What's your take about that? How much do you think are we women included in the innovation and digital world?
Yes, with just general progression of women, there is a lot of progress that has been made with how much women have an influence, but there's definitely a long way to go and a lot of work left to do. I think a big thing is that a lot of times women's voices are not heard. They are purposefully put down, they're purposefully put aside. There are comments in the workplace that are said oh, you're just a woman, your thoughts and ideas don't really matter to us. And people say that, oh, when a woman speaks, people listen. I really wish it was that way, because usually when a woman speaks, people first look, and if they like what they see, then they listen. Then that needs to change. When a woman speaks, people listen, and everyone should listen with an open mind, willing to hear out everyone's ideas, because that's what a true team and what collaboration means. And especially moving to the digital world, increasing those communication barriers, it's even more important to be cognizant of such issues and making sure that voices are heard and microaggressions are removed, and people are standing up for everyone and supporting everyone.
Wow, that was amazing. So let's go back to women in aviation in here. So what part were you playing in this year's conference? What did you address to the women during your presentations?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed talking about my journey to a lot of different women, and I was also able to stop by the Civil Air Patrol booth. And Civil Air Patrol is the auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force, and I have been a part of the organization since the 8th grade, and I had an awesome time going back, meeting a lot of my older mentors, and talking to the visitors mentors that are coming in and just, showing what's all the amazing opportunities that Civil Air Patrol had to offer, and also connecting with all the other friends and mentors that I made from this conference last year. It was great just talking about my journey and goals and looking, connecting with old mentors, old friends, making new friends, seeing the work and progress that we are making, all the different nonprofits and organizations that are springing up to support the next generation, to support women and minorities. I think that there are more of those popping up every single year, and it's always amazing to see the minds behind those organizations and meet them and talk about the work that they're doing. So I definitely had a great time with all of that.
Wow. I know one day I will say, oh, I know Priya. I used to watch her life until, she gets into space and she starts living into space, Mars, I don't know where, what that's going to be. So I love your uniform that you're wearing.
Thank you.
Can you tell my viewers, what is this uniform all about? It's so pretty.
Definitely, yes. So this is the Possum 13, Project Possum uniform, and I'm a part of the IIAS, so International Institute of Astronautical Sciences, and that is where I serve as the chair of the Possum 13 organization. So just the uniform name, here's our little pin and then the little flag. So Possum 13 is an outreach group that I have the humbling honor to lead this term, and what we do is we do a lot of outreach for female identifying students and for the next generation on a global scale. So putting out research opportunities to countries that are underprivileged and don't have as many STEM related professionals that could guide and mentor them. We have mentorship opportunities. In the past, we have done a lot of student competitions, which we are going to continue to do and launch this year and upcoming years. So some of the stuff we did in the past was one, we had a microgravity challenge where we allowed students to create payloads and experiments, and they drafted it up. They built like a ground test prototype, and then we take it and then we put it in a microgravity flight. So we put it in a flight with the National